What up, YouTube? This is Kirito HD Gaming coming at you with a Division 2 video. Now, I normally don't make these kind of videos because it's kind of on the negative end, and I normally leave these kind of type of comments for like reviews of like if I do a review video, and I don't even do those much, but I have to say something. And it just disgusts me that people still think Division 3 is not in a bad predicament and they're not really worried. But a lot of people aren't going back and looking throughout history of gaming on and seeing how bad companies have been and how they've gotten bought out due to how the ownership is. And we're seeing it again with Ubisoft as their stock just continues to plummet. There's currently talks about them being bought out by Tencent. And then also, what I find funny is they want to basically sell out but still have control of their stuff, which no company's going to want to do. No one's going to want to buy you out just for you to still have control. That's basically telling them, let me have your money, like you buy me out, let me borrow your assets and stuff to make my games possibly better, when that's not the case. Ubisoft can make really good games. They just don't anymore because the fact that the ownership does not care. And when your ownership doesn't care, it starts trickling down to the lower tiers, basically the developers and stuff. They're not gonna want to even care as much anymore. Or they're gonna care, and when they try to do something, it bites them in the ass because of the fact that they try to do something to help the community and then they get in trouble or possibly fired. And stuff like this is just disgusting, in my opinion. And basically, what I'm going to go and talk about today is the fact that Division 2 has been a fun game, a lovable game in my eyes. But now we're at a standpoint that this game is utterly terrible at the moment, in my opinion. And I really gonna be honest with you, it is dying. And I find it funny how there's going to be YouTubers out there that are going to tell you the game's not dying, and there's going to be players out there that tell you the game's not dying. And that is true. The game is not dead, but it is dying. And the thing is I can go play games that have already dropped in player base that are newer, and they already found their player type base that is going to be there for a long time, and their matchmaking system does not even take nowhere near as long as the matchmaking system in this game. And then basically what I'm trying to say is I've been playing the First Descendant lately, and yeah, the player base has dropped quite a bit since launch. And then it, has gone up every time new contents come out and everything. But the developers for that game actually listen. Not only do they not listen, but they're constantly having live streams. They're constantly updating. Yeah, you can say they're a new game. They're also a free-to-play game that's doing a whole lot better job, in my opinion, than Division 2. That's a triple A game. And now, another thing that I don't like is how Division 2, which cost everybody money to buy, now doesn't even have apparel events anymore. They just bring cosmetic items out so you can spend. Like, look at this. This is cool. You know? This is all cool and stuff. Took them long enough, in my opinion, to bring out stuff like this, but hey. And what's even crazier is in Division 1, when they had crossover skins come out, which wasn't really that much, but like Ghost Recon and stuff, it was free from your Ubisoft Connect. In Ghost Recon, you could get stuff for Rainbow Six for free. They're literally making you spend real life money on collaborations with their own damn game. They're literally making it to where they're selling these black tusk type skins that kind of look like possibly the white tusk instead. Literally cost you money instead of actually giving you these for possibly of earning. Like, have you not been collecting battle pass money from everybody for the last couple of years that you now need to sell all the skins you bring out for a premium price instead of having actually a decent event? Like, I understand the Stalker 2 bundle, that's understandable. But like Black Tusk, that should be earnable. That's just me. I would love this, but I'm not spending. It's 2240. Let's do this math real quick. It's 2240, right? Let's do this math real quick. This game is too old for one to be buying stuff for that much money. So 2240, I would have to buy 2240. This will give me 2250. So I'd have to spend $20 just to get that one skin bundle. What am I playing? Rainbow Six Siege? Understandably, if this was Rainbow Six Siege, I probably would buy a skin like that, just due to the fact that Rainbow Six Siege is actually considered a live service game. Division 2, on the other hand, Division 3 was already announced, so Division 2's life expectancy is not so much longer unless things go south, which if things go south and Division 3 doesn't come out, then Division 2 is still going to be downhill anyways. So I'm not spending $20 on a skin that should be a part of a event, apparel event, in my opinion. Like, I have 99 plus. I have probably over 200 of these caches. I have 2 legacy caches I can't even open because I own everything from everything. I have textiles piled up, but I have no ability to buy skins, in my opinion, because I'm not spending this money. Like, just for the Stalker 2 bundle, which is understandable to be at 3,200, which is equivalent to basically what? It's going to be equivalent to $35 basically. If you want to buy the $35 bundle, or you buy the 10 and buy the $9.99 bundle, you're going to be able to get it. But and they do have these one-time offers that aren't bad. For 20 bucks, you get a mask and you get 2600, which if I wanted to, I would probably buy this, and then yes, then I would get the skin because that's not bad. That's worth it. Because they even give you more. They give you 2600 for the bundle, right? And it comes with a mask and it gives you all that, while the regular $20 bundle gives you like 400 or 500 less of the premium currency. But see, what I mean is, like, everything is just money, 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 money now. Nothing in here anymore is about actual earning content and stuff. I remember in Division 1 you could just go around and open stuff up in the houses and stuff that you walked in and open things up and get clothing. What happened to that? Now everything just costs money. Like, even if I go to the apparel events, right? Even if I go to the apparel events and say, like, these I understand you should have to buy these because these were part of a Twitch program, if I'm correct. And since I missed one, I should have to pay for it. But like, let's keep going down to where I didn't complete in everything, right? Where is it? Like right here. I didn't get on during this time period, same as this time period. I didn't get on during these time periods. But I have to buy these with real money. Back then, when the game, I wouldn't say just started off, but like year 2 or year 3 of the game, something like this would be bottable with textiles at some point. They stopped that. And now they made it to where you get a vendor, which doesn't even give you good stuff from the vendor. Caches that you don't even need really to get with textiles now. And then not only that, but they literally make it to where you're capped on how much you can buy because they know people literally stacked up textiles over 200,000 probably. What they could have done is just made it to where the stuff cost more and didn't put a cap on it. Like, each, you know, container you bought was 1,000 textiles or 500 textiles and you didn't have a cap. Now, at the end of the day, that would be, I guess, in a way, a pay to win future for people that have more textiles. But then again, a lot of people that have played this game for ages that haven't even opened up all their caches don't realize that might say 99 plus, and you think, oh, that I only have 99 or maybe a little bit like 100, 110. No, I probably have like 300 of these bad boys. I have not opened these up for a whole year. And I just feel like if the DLC costs money too, this game is going to die right after the DLC is released. I will say this right now. This content costing money, I will not care about if it costs money if as long as the DLC is free. Then just like vice versa. If the DLC costs money, this stuff should be earnable and not cost you money. That's just me. Like the fact that it costs you 700, basically $10 if you want to buy this separately or if you want to buy it as a bundle, which it is better to buy as a well, semi better to buy as a bundle cuz 2240, right? And then this is 3150, which is even worse cuz you're only getting skins for your specialist weapons which you don't even use majority of the time. So, I mean, like, unless you're making a specialist or weapon build, you're not really going to use these, meaning this right here being that much money. Like I said, this is basically equivalent of paying for a $35 bundle or a 20 and a $10 bundle to get this. And they're always time limited. And now at least this is 3 weeks long, so you got 3 weeks to get it. But it just blows my mind. And it's funny how they're coming out with a lot of snow type skins when we're not even in a snowy environment, which just, blows my mind. Like, you would think we get some skins that aren't, you know, like this. And unless, Brooklyn, New York is going to be bigger than we expect, and it's gonna be snowy instead of actually like the New York we're in right now, and also the um Washington, but I highly doubt it's gonna be snow because then at the same time it won't make sense if the New York that we had with the expansion is not snow but Brooklyn is. It just wouldn't make sense. So it's probably not gonna be snow. So I don't see why they're adding all this like snow like type of equipment. It doesn't make sense to me. Just like for the longest period of time, they were adding literally non-tactical stuff. Like, come on, like sports gear, you know, style gear, biker, all this stuff. Or, the Crossroads I liked. That was based off the book Last Resort. You kind of in a way playing as one of the enemy factions basically. This one was, cool. And then this one, even though some of the stuff was kind of cool, I just wouldn't ever really use this stuff just because it's too, it doesn't make sense to use. But like I really hope Division 3 happens. I really hope the DLC for this game is a banger. But I also hope they don't charge money for it. And like I'm being dead serious cuz if they charge money it's only going to be like $15 probably. And what's even worse if they charge money for it and it's like 15 bucks. There will be people out there that will just not buy it because they're not willing to spend that money. And it's just gonna even make the player base more smaller because of the matchmaking system not being able to play with the people with the new content. Which, like I said, I feel like the DLC is gonna be free because one, we're literally basically 2 months out, and we have not had any word on like a price, when exactly is the release date, none of that. None of that has came out, so since none of it has came out, I'm assuming it's probably going to be free content. As you can see, with most of the free content we get in this game, they don't tell us until like right around the corner. So, yeah, I mean, and they give you a roadmap, but let's be honest here. One thing about Ubisoft is their roadmaps never are the truth. There's always changes and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest about this too. They already delayed this season by 2 weeks, if I'm correct. 'Cause at one time they added 2 more weeks um to the where is it? Oh yeah, it's over here. They added where is it at? They added 2 weeks to this. This used to be 14, now it's 16. And we have 10 weeks left until the next season, which assumingly is gonna also be um the DLC. Another thing I want to say is whoever thought about this new seasonal system, I feel like was not on a whole, like they weren't thinking how this system was gonna play out in my opinion. Because, I'm gonna be honest with you, season 1.0 stuff was pretty boring, but season 2.0 stuff is even boringer. Literally, you get 3 activities at least during the season 1.0. when you got the new, area or whatever you want to call it, you had about 30 minutes to an hour of content, depending on what type of player you were. This right here can be done, majority of this can be done in 15 minutes. And then you have to wait a week. Now, good thing is that the wait time is only a week, while in the past, I don't remember, but I think it was like 3 weeks you had to wait. So it was kind of more, longer, and people tend to quit and not finish. It'd be nice if they made it to where you could, like, I love how this right here, I can't, like, I can hold and accept this and then this, but I can't do this because apparently I still haven't done this one. But I literally have done this mission like 5 times. But the game is so bugged that it doesn't count me as completing it. And it's funny because at one point the stovepipe was another one that it didn't let me complete. But it finally counted. Same for the Captain Lewis. That one also was giving me problems, but finally it says complete. You know? But this one is still bugged out for me. So it's just like, I don't know. And I guess the broken wings is still bugged out for me too. So there's that. Another thing that's really doesn't make sense is I can go literally play Tidal Basin right now without playing any of these, which back then you couldn't have done. Which I mean, it's just all bugged and broken, in my opinion. And that's what's wrong with this game. It's just too many bugs and lack of content and fun. And it just, at the end of the day, just isn't my cup of tea. It gets boring. And I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people feel, as a lot of people have quit this game. It's a niche audience now. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The Descent and the Summit, look, are the same thing. The difference is this is roguelike, this isn't. And then in the Descent, like I said, it's roguelike. You start out with nothing basically, and you work your way up. But you can make yourself a powerhouse in it. But you also don't really get to play with any higher rarity than, I think, blue or purple. And then the Summit, you can just do with your whole entire build, which makes it very easy, boring, and repetitive. And then, um, what is this called again? I'm trying to think real quick. What is it called? Countdown. Countdown has been bugged since day one, basically. I don't know if they even ever fixed anything with it. I highly doubt it, but Countdown was actually pretty fun, and it's one of the fastest and best ways to basically get gear and also expertise your stuff. And then what took them forever to do, they finally added an incursion into this. But it took them forever to add something like this. And then honestly, the only other thing that has ever felt like an incursion to me, but obviously not difficult wise, is Manny National Zoo. And basically, the only other thing that has ever felt like an incursion in general is Manny National Zoo and Tidal Basin on Legendary. Other than that, Tidal Basin and Manny National Zoo on Heroic or anything lower it just in general didn't. It felt harder than any other heroic missions, but in general, it was still pretty easy. Especially if you play solo or if you play with a decent team. But I mean, other than that, another thing that I despised about this game is the cap that you had in the dark zone in this game is not my cup of tea. I wish there was more players that you had in the dark zone, and I really wish they never made it 3. Another thing I didn't really like about this game is the fact that the modifier, I'm not a big fan of the modifiers that they added. I'm just not. Even though they added a gear set to help with it, I just think adding a modifier that makes it to where you get nerfed with damage instead of just buffing the enemies, you're getting nerfed while the enemies are already bullet sponges. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then at least in Division 1, when I've played in Division 1, you could have made builds where, you know, you could one-shot people. You know, this game doesn't really have that. In my opinion.
Really sorry.
Take your time, Agent.
So we got the Pyromaniac, we got the Combustor, Shell Splinter and Hunter. Nothing good at all.
Agent, happy to do business with you.
Okay, where's the Weaver location? What I really don't like is Cassie Mendoza used to be a thing where you did something in the dark zone and went underground to do stuff. And I actually like that. I don't know why they took something like that away. But on the subject of the matter, I just feel like things need to change, and they're going the route of all this monetization when the game's not even free to play. Like, I should not go into a Division game and it start looking like a Call of Duty store front. Like for instance, before I even continue to go to this thing, like look at this. This is starting to look like a Call of Duty store. Like, this should not be happening. Like, this is when I say this, and I will always say this. Fortnite has ruined video games because they're the ones that came out and started this whole season pass crap. And now there might have been games before that that did stuff like that, but they weren't popular enough to, you know, make everybody start switching to it. Understandable, battle passes are not bad, but when you have a battle pass, a storefront, and your game is costing a premium value, there is something wrong with your process at the your company. And I just don't understand why that's the case, but I'm just tired of watching videos of people kind of contradicting things they say. Like, they will have praises for their game. Like, they would have praises for the game, and then like a week later they want to bring bad news about the game, and it just doesn't make sense to me why they're doing it. There was really nothing there.
Always fun to make a
That's
trade.
terrible.
Incoming backup request.
Nice Ridgeway. Another thing I really am starting to hope that they don't ever do in the future is the whole expertise system needs to go. It does not need to come back. Like, I don't even remember what expertise I'm at. Let's see.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
How do you open the expertise table? There we go. Look, I'm 25, right? And I think it goes up to 26. Expertise, it's all fine and dandy, but the amount of resources you need to expertise only one weapon or one gear piece to the expertise 26, you're only gonna be like, for instance, if I wanted to, either what I've been doing normally is I go up slowly on gear items all at once. Like I'll do all of these, I'll do all of them level 1. If I have material again, I'll do all of them level 2, and so forth. But if I wanted to level up one thing at a time and like, oh, 26, and then go to this one, I'm not gonna have any more resources. That is how badly the expertise system is. Like the expertise system is literally made for people that do nothing but play this game only. And that's normally gonna be only your content creators or people that don't play any other games, which are going to be a few people. You're going to have the content creators and then the amount of people that you have that just play this game, which is going to be a small amount. And then those are your normal categories. Then you're going to have a third category where they will play this game, but they've used a bunch of exploits and never got, you know, I wouldn't say banned for it, but like nothing's ever happened to them. Like not a rollback, not a ban, and something like those categories, like some other people in the past. And not only that, but they're also cheaters half of the time. Because I will say this, I don't know how many times I've ran into the dark zone or something with people with max expertise, with their max expertise on the entire full build, and they still cheat.
Detected.
And
Nearby
you
location
wonder, oh,
guarded
I'm
by
on
hostiles.
console, how is it considered cheating? Well, mouse and keyboard on console is considered cheating in a game like this. Another thing is Cronus's, strike packs, and all that. They give you literally, like, a Cronus can literally basically give you soft aimbot, where your aim assist would be stronger than what the aim assist in the game already gives you. When I think aim assist shouldn't even be in this game. I don't even use it in the first place, but I don't think it should be in the game. But basically what I'm trying to say is this game is going downhill just like the company is. And there's so many people out there that say the game's not going downhill, it's still live, and there's still so many people playing it, but let's be honest, that's not true.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
Not true at all. Another thing that's not true that I will constantly bring up is, well, not okay, not on the true part, but another thing that I wanted to bring up, I mean, that I find funny is like this weapon right here. It took them this long to bring it back, basically from Division 1, I guess you could say. Then, not on top of that, they made rifles where you can only hold down the trigger now instead of tap firing it. Like, did they not learn, like, all this stuff that they had in Division 1. Because if I'm correct, the rifle wasn't fully auto, but it was able to be held down and it shot. Because they had on the rifles, if I'm correct, in Division 1, they, like, for this is full auto, which they show, like, no, this one, they show three symbols for full auto, while this one shows two symbols. Well, if I'm correct, in Division 1, it also showed two symbols, but you didn't have to tap fire in Division 1. I think you could hold down in Division 1. Now, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I got on Division 1. But,
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
I mean, another thing that I think Division 3 needs to have, in my opinion, a bunch of things that Division 3 needs to have to make this game better, like to make the game better, and if it does come
Looking for
out, would
something?
be, and they need to start doing it in this game, is they need to stop making everything a straight laser beam. Like, make the game on a more realistic end, like Division 1. And it's funny because so many people like Division 1. So why did they go away from all this stuff that they did have? I don't know. I mean, I hope Division 3 has more of a customization of your agent too. And I
Hostiles.
think
Guarding location
dynamic
nearby.
weather needs to come into a factor too, which, yeah, you can say there's dynamic weather in Division 2, but it's literally rain and sunny, rain and sunny. Like, I mean, to me, yeah, that's considered dynamic and everything, but when I mean dynamic, I mean we're going through days and nights. Weather should change between not just rain and, you know, sunny. I mean, that's just my opinion.
You
I
got
think
anything to trade?
I think the next Division game needs to have a variety, like bring the old Division 1 vibe back, have it snowy, but have areas like you go through a different map that isn't snow. Like, you know, where our location's gonna be, it's gonna be snowy.
Detected.
But, like,
Nearby
for
location.
instance, we
Guarded by
travel
hostiles.
to, like, another state or something like that that's close by, but they don't have snow or something, you know, something around those lines. That there, you know, at the end of the day, a game like that, I wouldn't mind putting money into and actually buying skins and stuff and helping the development of the game. Like, if I knew what the Division 3 was gonna start being like and we got more news on it, and if we were able to see a trailer for the DLC and know what the DLC is gonna be like, I would maybe start buying stuff for this game again to help further the better development process for the next game. But the communication is lacking and terrible, and I'm it's just equaling to negativity in the
Hostiles.
Division
Guarding
series.
location nearby.
And sadly, the Division series is controlled by a negative company, Ubisoft, in my opinion. And when I mean negative, I mean they are negative in almost every category: communication, money problems, you know, their quadruple triple A title failure. All this stuff, like, it's been nothing but negative on top of negative on top of negative. And I am still thinking if I should buy the new Assassin's Creed game because I was waiting for something to take place in Japan. But I don't know if I can trust Ubisoft. They delayed the game to make the
Detected.
game better,
Nearby location. Guarded by
but I
hostiles.
still don't know if I can trust the game. Another thing about all this going on is a lot of people have so many high hopes still, but they're not looking in front of what has happened. Skull and Bones, Avatar, Star Wars Outlaws, all flopped. Not only have all those all flopped, but let's go into the free-to-play side of things. Their Rainbow Six Siege mobile game, their Division mobile game. I played the beta for the Rainbow Six Siege, but I have not heard anything about the real game coming out yet. It could already
Hostiles
been
guarding
out.
location nearby.
Matter of fact, I will look it up right now. Rainbow Six Siege mobile. No, it's still coming soon. Even though I am pre-registered and I did play the beta, I got a new phone, so since I got a new phone, I don't no longer have access to it, the beta anymore. I don't even think it's in beta anymore. No, okay. I do still have access to the Rainbow Six Siege on my other email. Oh, it says it will install automatically when it's available. So I can't no longer install it because it's not available right now. But like for instance, I played the beta for the Rainbow Six
Detected.
Siege
Nearby
mobile
location
I
guarded
think
by
like
hostiles.
a year ago, if I'm correct. And they still haven't brought it out yet. The Division mobile game has been played in multiple betas, I think, and it hasn't came out yet. The downside is these are mobile games that should not be mobile games. They should be a game that should be played on a console. Like, have you guys, like, I think Ubisoft just hasn't realized that all these mobile games can be played on console. Look at Genshin Impact. Look at um the Honkai Star Rail game. Look at all those games. They were on mobile at one point and now they're on console.
Hostiles
And
guarding
there's
location
games that
nearby.
were made for PC that have came to console. Um that probably could have a mobile version too. Like the Tower of Fantasy. I don't know if the Tower of Fantasy ever got. I don't know if it has a mobile version. I never looked it up or not. I just know it was a PC and it came to console. Um, I think there should be a console version of the Division game, in my opinion. Maybe not the Rainbow Six Siege game because that doesn't make sense. But I think Ubisoft should do something with the skins between the Rainbow Six games, like Rainbow Six Extraction, Rainbow Six Mobile, and then Rainbow Six Siege. Like, you should be able to like have transferring of skins or something. I don't know, something around those lines. That would be cool.
Detected.
But
Nearby location
back
guarded
to
by
the
hostiles.
Division stuff, like you had three flops. You had a delayed in the Assassin's Creed game. You had the X Defiant game being canceled now, and it's I think gonna be supported until May I think of this year. I do not know the dates directly on it, so don't quote me on it, but I think it's like May or so around that area, basically springtime. I think it's being supported to, and I am assuming they brought out some banger stuff, knowing that they're canceling the game, trying to get as much money out as possible. You know, if you play the game still, you'd be smart not to buy anything because you're just giving money to Ubisoft to spend on something stupid, probably. But
Hostiles guarding
that
location
game's being
nearby.
canceled, and then the spin-off for the Division, the free-to-play game, was canceled. Even though it was in development for so long, it just doesn't make sense to me. And people have so high hopes, even with all this stuff happening. They're like, I have faith that Division 3 is going to come out and there's not going to be any problems. Well, in my eyes, is how am I supposed to have faith when they had 3 AAA titles literally flop, one free-to-play canceled, one AAA title delayed, and another free-to-play game that's been out for basically half a year to a full year that is now getting canceled. And it's like all that has happened within the last year to 2 years, and you have faith is kind of like, is it faith or is it because you're relying on the content that you're making for your paycheck? And I'm not trying to be mean about that, but that's literally what a lot of content creators are basically about. I'm not going to say they spread false information, which they don't. They do not spread false information, but they do spread false hope. And what I mean by false hope is they will say, and like their titles will be misleading, or they will talk about how, the game is, become funner, or like, stuff like that or something. And it has a misleading factor on, oh, Division 2's not dying. Oh, Division 3 is going to come out and stuff, even with all the problems in the background. Not realizing we already had an extreme delay in the mobile game for the Division. In my opinion, it's considered a delay, even though they really haven't announced anything about it. It should have already came out. It's been through multiple betas. And the Heartlands game was canceled even though they were already ready for release, and it was through multiple betas, and it was in process for years. And I just find it like, how are you going to come out and tell people the game is going to still come out and you're not worried that it has not going to run into any problems? Now, don't get me wrong, they don't quote it on themselves, like they don't quote for quote saying, oh, Division 3 is going to happen. No, but they are basically saying they're not worried even with all this negativity going around. No, you should worry, because what I have done, which I have barely spent money on this game, all I have bought on Division 2 is 1 or 2 skins, the ultimate version of the game, the expansion, and multiple of the battle passes. So, not much for a game that's been out for 6 years compared to other games that I have that have been out for 6 or plus years. Not that bad. But there's people that are spending money left and right on this game with all the cosmetic items coming out, but they also complain about the price of it, but still buy it. And then not only do they contradict themselves about buying the skin when they said it was too high in price, but they also turn around and try to spread hope for the game and not point out all the negativity in the broad daylight. They will read about the negativity, they will tell you about the negativity, but they won't tell you that this all can affect everything in the future. They will try to spread you false hope by saying, yeah, things should still look good for the Division 3 and this and that. But, like, for instance, where is the trailer? Where's the news about the DLC? We're 2 months away, and we should already have news. Like, I will say this right now, if we get to about a month away from the DLC coming out and we still don't have any news. I don't know what to say. I mean, it already looks bad because they delayed it by 2 weeks. As you can see, we should have 8 weeks left instead of 10 weeks until the new season. But we have 10 weeks left. And that is, I mean, that already tells you it's not looking good in my opinion. They're delaying, and I'm gonna be honest, they already delayed seasons by a month. Seasons used to be every 3 months, now it's 4 months, and they delayed an extra 2 weeks, which is half a month, for this DLC. I'm just gonna say that is not looking pretty. And then they think adding stuff like this, where is it? They think adding stuff like these events right here, these XP events, are gonna make people want to stay and play. Like these events right here, the Hollywood, Shade Exposed and all that, understandable. Those are just been around since Division 1 time period. They're just different types. But like adding these XP events, like you act like these XP events are gonna make people stay and play a lot. Like I will say this, I will take advantage of this times 5 XP event due to the fact that I'm gonna finish up the story um of my scouting by then. I'm gonna play then to finish it up so I can get to play mastery and also the ending of the season. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like the whole seasonal thing is kind of stupid to me too, because the fact that they're making stuff behind like a riddle or a puzzle. You have to figure out what you have to do. Some are easy and some are like, oh, what do I gotta do exactly? And if you don't play this game and know everything about this game in the back of your hand, you might have some problems. Or if you haven't played for a while, you might have some problems. Like, for instance, what is this? Whatever you do, don't become a lab rat. Medical experiments are the worst. That is a hint. But the question is where does that, like, I don't understand. Like, what is that supposed to be? And since I haven't played for so long, I don't know where I have to go. You know, I haven't played for so long, and even if I did, where would I have to go? Like, lab rats and stuff like that. Like, maybe DCD headquarters? Because it is a lab, if I'm correct. But is that, like, do you have to complete the mission? Like, some of this I don't like that I'm playing a looter shooter and they want to make puzzles and riddles. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, it's already bad enough that you made all these puzzles and riddles and type stuff. I wouldn't say riddles, but like more like a puzzle or a actually interactive type thing, and the raids and the incursion, you know, and the getting the hunter's mask and stuff, which is understandable. But now you're doing it on your seasonal content. Like, I mean, maybe not everyone's gonna look at it as a bad thing like me, but things like that will take away a lot of the player base. And I will say this, I know a lot of people that quit playing this game because of this seasonal content, and they were no life in the game during the time period where the seasonal content did not get updated to 2.0. So, I mean, I know for a fact that a lot of people don't like this new system that they're going with. This is basically just my rant video that I'm doing with this game, and you know, I'm not even gonna talk about everything because I'll be here for hours. But um, this is basically what I wanted to say, and I just want to tell people, don't have full faith in what's to come. And don't waste your money on stuff on this game if we don't get info about things. Because I don't want people to buy stuff for this game and then proceed to like waste their money when we don't know what's happening with the games because the company.
Consumption
Now,
of drugs and alcohol on site is
whatever
forbidden.
you want to do is whatever you
Violators
want to
will be
do. I'm
moved
not
to
going
a
to
secure
stop you.
area immediately.
I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just saying you got to look at the big picture before you go out and do things. And it sucks because a lot of people have became new and started playing this. I'm just saying this because I'm tired of the false hopes by a lot of content creators, or at least in my eyes it sounds like false hope. I want pure truth. I need actual examples and need like definitive information. Not this, oh, all this from insiders that aren't even working at the company, but they have been lucky over their time period about inside information. Like, yeah, they might be right, but they're also not right about a lot of things either, probably. Because they don't know what's happening behind closed doors and stuff. And I'm just saying all this stuff because I just don't want people to have their hopes up and then they just come crumbling down because the game didn't come out or they stuff didn't come out the way they wanted it to or something. You know, for me though, I hope everything happens beautifully and correctly and wonderfully. But time will only tell. I will start streaming this game again in the future when it gets closer to the ending of the season. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. This is Kirito HE Gaming signing off. If you ever want to play with me on this game, just hit me up. But peace, and please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Sorry about the rant video,
If you notice
but I just wanted to get my thoughts out. I not trying to say any hate or anything towards anybody. I love watching a lot of content creator videos on this game. I just wanted to come out and say that I felt like there's too much false hope in the community, in my opinion, with all the negative around. And yes, at the end of the day, you don't want to be negative person. You want to be positive, and I can see why all this is happening because everybody wants to be positive instead of negative. But you don't want to be too positive because it will make you crumble even more. But, you know, this is just my opinion. Everyone has their rightful opinion, so I apologize if I offended anyone in this, but I'll see you guys next time. Peace.